Few weeks ago, I had to fight off this guy that was trying to meet my niece. My niece is 11 years old. I was a little bit confused by why somebody was trying to meet up with my niece. The guy was 32. Now, this may not seem like a big issue to you. I don't know if you care about my family in any capacity or care about children, but I was curious how they met. I thought it was Roblox, maybe something of that variety, maybe Facebook, right? That's what I was assuming, it was Facebook. But something worse is out there. We confiscated my niece's phone and we looked through the phone. It turns out there's an app called Wizz. There is literally a Tinder for children, and it's crazy. So now I've done a fair amount of research on this app, and I'd like to show you the marketing for the app and how colorful it is for one moment. It's very make new friends, bright dopamine, bright colors, nonsense, goofy little energy, little tricks to get people to download the app. Let me show you this real fast. So this is the app, Meet Your People Now. Best ranked social app of 2024, joined 3 million online, safety checks and verifications. That's not true at all. My 11-year-old niece got on there. That's a complete lie. It's, hey man, oh damn, hey, what's up, you look stunning. This app is marketed towards teenagers. These are children. These are people in school. If you look through, these are people in school. Wizz is where positively flourishes. Our community is built on respect, understanding, and the shared desire to create a space where everyone feels safe. Inappropriate behavior has no place here. We're all about positive vibes and meaningful connections. Safety on Wizz. Let's just go through. I just want to read this real fast. Safety has been fundamental to our platform from the start. It remains an ongoing priority that requires constant effort and vigilance. As a part of our ongoing industry-wide efforts to strengthen youth safety online, Wizz is introducing additional safeguards within its existing trust and safety network. The work is informed by independent oversight, including audits, regulatory engagement, and industry collaboration. Updates will be shared to keep our things safe. So this is kind of, and I want to see the people behind this, right? They're in France. It's these guys, these people, who look like, I don't know, that's not a single drop of melanin among these people. Anyways, these guys, these people, as part of Voodoo too, these are discussed. Every single one of these people, I want you to see their names. Every single one of these people, I'll take cookies, are responsible for the nonsense that has just happened to me. Man met teen on app, trapped her in Cobb Hotel, then victim's father tracked her down. This is just what happened on Wizz. This is a regular story of what happened on Wizz. This was met on Wizz in Cobb County. Police say a man trapped a 14-year-old girl in a Cobb County hotel room after meeting her on an app meant for teenagers. And then Cobb County Bureau Chief Michael Newman learned how the girl's father was able to track her down. Police arrested her as she disappeared. Police said 18-year-old Javon Warren met the victim on the Wizz app, which is promoted as a safe space for meeting new friends. So yeah, that's what's going on there. This is a big problem because this is not the first case of what's happening here. On the app itself, there's a bunch of secret chats going on, and the secret chats are very provocative. They're nasty. You can actually get Wizz Infinity for $333 a month to get all the provocative chats unlocked. This is one of the profiles that is on Wizz. A 17 male looking for friends and girlfriend. This is just some random child here. Messaging apps implicated in the alleged attack of 11-year-old girl. So this is what's going on here. This is the man. He's from Honolulu, Hawaii. A U.S. Marine stationed at Marine Corps Base Hawaii in Kanoho Bay was arrested last weekend for allegedly assaulting an 11-year-old girl in Kauai. Carlos David Barcruis, 19, was arrested Saturday, April 19, on 4 charges of first-degree assault, third charge assault, 5 of first-degree abuse, and 2 promoting CP to a minor, and 1 case of incitement. According to Honolulu Police Department, a Kauai mother informed the police earlier this month that she was found explicit messages between her and her daughter between an unknown male and on a phone app. This was used on Wizz. This is all Wizz. All this is just one app, Wizz. All this, guys. What are we doing here? What's going on with this, right? It could be argued that, you know, TikTok is obviously a dating app for kids as well. You could argue that, but this is specifically a dating app for 13 to 18-year-olds, but 11-year-olds can get on there, 12-year-olds can get on there, people that are significantly younger can get on this app, and it's basically just a hot seat for predatory behavior. There's so many news stories that I could pull up over and over again about disgusting nonsense that is happening on this app. I have not even heard about this app until I had to figure out my niece was on it. That's where we discovered it, right? It's the same horror story over and over again with a different font. Every 5 years we had Kik. I don't know if you remember Kik, K-I-K. I don't know if you remember that. It's just a new name, new logo, new slogan about connection, same outcome. Apps like Wizz get advertised as harmless social discovery spaces for young people, but the second you look under the hood, It's disgusting. It's nasty. Oh, it's disgusting. Awkward teenagers, scammers, emotionally manipulative strangers, and adults pretending to be children with profile pictures filtered into oblivion. The whole atmosphere is disgusting. It's so predatory by design. Instant access to strangers, no friction, no meaningful verification, no emotional maturity required to participate. The app structure in itself is the problem before any individual bad actor shows up. The app itself is a hotbed for people of this variety to just continually do this over and over again. And it's so normalized to all the teenagers using it. They're making jokes about it all over TikTok. They're just making jokes about, yeah, bro, I got Wizz, bro. This is ridiculous. I'm having a fun time on this app.
I need a goth girlfriend who's freaky so I can make out to Deftones covered in blood. And then we can listen to Jeff Buckley, because I'm such a yearner, bro. No, I listened to Lover You Shoulda Came Over, and...
Bro, remember when we all used to use Wizz? And for some reason, every time I'd go on that app when I was like 16, everything I'd see was chopped cheese. Everybody was fucking chopped, bro. Like, I did not see, like, every time I'd fucking scroll, terrible. There'd be like one slightly good looking girl every 50 swipes. And every like 50 swipes, you'd find like one good looking girl, you'd send her a message, and it would not go through. Wizz would not send it to her. Because Wizz, like, they literally shadow ban your fucking account, I swear to God. Like, they literally have a thing where like, well, do you want to get in front of the line? You want to get in front of the line? You want to use a boost to maybe let her see to get her attention? Like, no, I'm not paying $20 a week so that a fucking girl will respond to my DMs and probably airball me. I'm not wasting my money. Now, like, seriously, Wizz was a terrible point in life. You either had to be bored or at the lowest point in your life to use Wizz, bro. I will never use that shit-ass app again, bro. And I used to be doing the most on my profiles, bro. I used to be using the best fucking photos. I used to be using all my gym photos. And the thing is, it would work. But it'd work on the wrong girls. I'd get all the chopped cheese. Never using Wizz again, ever in my life.
Yo, I am proud to say that I was never down bad enough to go on Wizz. Seeing how this app was and the people on it, it was just sad, bro. This was like a chopped man's paradise, bro. Like, you could talk to anybody. I remember some people, like, back in the day, like, I would say, like, 2-3 years ago, just, like, flexing, like, how many, like, Wizz people they talked to, like, that shit was just not a flex at all. Like, I knew people who would spend all day on here, bro. Talking about, like, your most screen time app is Wizz. Like, is that not crazy? Like, from what I've seen, this shit was, like, Tinder for kids. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but people would be on some hornball shit. You just had to be there when, like, the TikTokers were posting, like, these crazy, like, Wizz interactions. Like, it was bad. And the thing with, like, Wizz, like, you just go on there and people would just, like, glaze the fuck out of you. Like, no matter, like, what you look like, no matter, like, you would just get glazed regardless. But, like, at the end of the day, Wizz was not my shit. But my thing was definitely House Party. If y'all remember the House Party days, like, it doesn't even compare. Hey, but let me know what y'all think about the Wizz days. And were y'all on Yubo or Wizz? Let me know.
These are 14-year-olds trying to navigate being manipulated by adults, dude. They don't need the awareness of a retired detective just to survive a conversation. Children are entering these spaces with school-level understanding of danger. Adults online have spent decades mastering manipulation, guilt, emotional pressure, fake vulnerability, love bombing, and social engineering. Predators do not walk into these spaces with these big signs saying, "I'm evil, this is nasty." No, a 15-year-old girl is going to see a 27-year-old guy who has a car, has an apartment, and say, "Wow, you have all this stuff by yourself?" He's going to say, "Yeah, baby, I got all this stuff by myself." And she's going to say, "Wow, this is so cool. You're so grown. I wish I had all this stuff." And he's going to manipulate her just to manipulate her. There's no twirling mustaches, no thunder cracking in the background. They show up pretending to be relatable, pretending to listen, pretending to understand loneliness better than anyone else, and that's what makes this whole thing terrifying. The danger is not some dramatic movie scene. The danger is the consistency, the patience, somebody spending 3 weeks becoming a child safe person before slowly escalating boundaries inch by inch, and that's disgusting. And people say, "Well, what about the parents? They should monitor these apps." We are in an iPad kid generation, dude. Nobody is watching these children go crazy or sicko mode. No one's doing that, dude. No one's watching these kids do this stuff. It's disgusting. I hate every single second of it. And there seems to be this wild obsession with getting kids to date or do provocative stuff by these CEOs just to capitalize on their just prepubescent provocativeness and the testosterone and hormones going through their body just to get them to spend a little bit of extra money on the Wizz Infinity or whatever it is, just to get a little bit of money out of these young, impressionable people. It's so predatory to do that. The entire setup of these apps has no safety features truly embedded within it. You swipe, you add, you message, you snap, repeat. Human beings get reduced to these collectible interactions where the objective becomes constant stimulation instead of meaningful connection. It's nasty. So we read all that stuff about the safety messages and things on Wizz. I'm going to show you a few messages from the Wizz app. This is a lot of nonsense here, so let me show you. Hey hottie, do you want to play and I'll use my pocket blank? That's a P-U-S-S, or another word. So next one, no monkeys, straight, blondes, 13. This is strange right here, a little strange, a little odd. What you doing? Well, I just went to blank, so that was cool. Ooh, yeah, what about you? I'm helping my little sis calm down. Oh, what happened? Do you have telly or numb? Because I don't know if he'll let me say, is that bad? You don't have to say yes. I don't think you'll get banned or something. She got, and then he says the R word, you know, R-A-P, graped, the grape word, that one. Oh, wow, that's horrible. Yeah, it's bad. How old is she? 11, just turned. That's so young. I know. That's nice that you're there for her. You're a good brother. She's really hurting. Yeah, I couldn't imagine what it's like. Yeah, she said they put it in, they finished. Oh, that's awful. It's like a whole thing. I hope she overcomes that situation. Oh, she wants me to massage it. Oh, it's sore. Oh, yeah. That's probably okay, right? Blank has left because she's not ready for real vibes. Swipe to meet new people. Have a great day. Whole thing here. 15-year-old. I'm the definition of this song. She's so nice. And then white supremacist. I don't know what's I don't know what, like, racist children. I'm really confused about this entire app. It's really strange. And then there are a bunch of TikTok horror stories about this entire thing too. That's also bad.
I ain't gonna lie, chat, do not use that app Wizz, especially if you 18 and older. So I have this friend and he decides to download Wizz. It's like junior year of high school, and he just like makes a Wizz account for the fun of it. So he made a profile and started like adding all these girls and stuff. Then he starts messing with this one girl and they start texting. She actually attended a college that was near us, but we're like juniors at this time, or it's sophomore year summer, I can't really remember. But yeah, so he like meets up with her and goes to a party. He told me party wasn't that cool, so he ended up leaving it. After he left the party, they went back to her dorm to watch a movie. Obviously they didn't go back to watch a movie, and things happened. After that, he told me that he blocked her on everything because he felt bad about lying to her. And now that's bad because 1, she'll never know he was underage. 2, he might have a kid and just not know.
Things guys have said to me on Wizz. God forbid a girl wants a bit of fun, okay? Shush. Don't judge. Number 1. How deep will you let my tongue go? Darling, the only place your tongue is going is either back in your mouth or up your own ass. Okay, yeah. Number 2, I can't lie, you're so fine. You honestly could give me crippling AIDS, and I thank you. The fuck? How are you even meant to respond to that? Moving on. Number 3, if you were a flower, you'd be like a really cool flower or something. I don't know. Honey, but why did you give up mid-pickup line? The fuck? Anyways, number 4, raw. Is that it? Just that? Okay, buddy.
This is yet another major warning for those of you out there with kids in your household. This is the amazing, vibrant app, Wizz. Creators of this app took it from 0 to 14 million downloads in less than 6 months. Let's meet some of the executives. CEO Thomas Donninger. Wizz empowers young people to connect without the pressures of traditional social media. COO Nassim Ameli. And God knows we've heard this before, safety comes first, ensuring young people can connect confidently and securely. I think when she says they can connect confidently, she means they can hook up real easy. This app, with now over 16 million users, has been nicknamed the Tinder for kids. Yes, I'm well aware that teenagers are out there that are sexually active. However, this app in particular has become what? One of the easiest ways for predators to link up with children. Take a look at all the advertising. The creators claim that this platform is just for meeting and connecting with new people. But you start looking at Wizz profiles, they're incredibly identical to Tinder profiles. Speaking of Tinder, that's right, the Wizz app is swipe right, swipe left. It's the exact same model. Now remember, this app is designed for kids to connect, right? But Stefan Balcom, the founder of the Family Online Safety Institute, was easily in just a few minutes able to set himself up a profile and start engaging with kids. Just imagine how dangerous that would be if he wasn't interested in family online safety. When you start looking at the website, you're going to see a lot of key words like respect, understanding, very progressive phrases like we share a desire to create a space where everyone feels safe and valued. Look at the team, just a bunch of French software coders interested in healthy kids. And yet, far from being known for combating loneliness amongst the youth, this app is now well known and has been exposed for linking minors with predators. Once again, if you've got a young person in your home or in your life, you need to make sure this app right here, Wizz, is not on one of their electronic devices. Stay vigilant.
The entire setup of the app is predatory in nature, from them buying the little coins, the Wizz coins, to talk to these people. And predators thrive in environments where people are moving too fast to think critically. Kids are already growing up in a world where attention itself has fragmented into dust particles floating through hurricanes of notifications. Now they are expected to identify grooming patterns while being socially rewarded for talking to strangers. This whole thing is insanity. You cannot build an environment around impulsive interaction and then act surprised when manipulative people exploit impulsive interaction. The app structure hands predators a megaphone and a map. The megaphone amplifies their voice. The map shows them where the most vulnerable people are gathered. People develop these whole just nonsense through these apps, and people are just saying, well, what is happening? What's going on? What they need an app somewhere. They need a safe space. This is disgusting overall. And I keep seeing people defend Wizz over. Why are people defending this app is what's killing me. For some reason, it just feels like news outlets aren't taking this as seriously. Every time I watch the news about this, it doesn't seem to take it that seriously. They're just talking about the dangers of it, but it doesn't really do anything to talk about the dangers. We need to get this app off the platforms immediately.
Bouchard, what we have you here for is to talk about this Wizz app. It's a Tinder-like children's app that's on the App Store right now, and anyone can download it. I think it's 12 and up. But it's concerning because predators might be targeting kids with this app. Tell us about it.
Without a question. It's one of those where it says down to age 12, but we know for a fact that kids as young as 8 and 9 have gotten the app and downloaded it and didn't answer the questions that they were 12. And even if they were 12, this is not the kind of app that, as a parent, if I was a parent of somebody, I want my kids on. Anytime you have an app or a chat room or any kind of methodology where it draws young kids, it draws predators. And so you could be thinking you're talking to someone your age. Let's say, for example, you're a young boy and you're 12 or 13 and all those hormones are kicking in and you think you're talking to a young girl or, whoever that you think you're attracted to in this particular exchange, but it's not that person at all. It could be a guy in his basement in, Sandusky, Ohio. You have no idea who's talking to you or for what purpose. They could be grooming you, setting you up for sextortion. And we've seen these kinds of things happen in other forums, chat rooms, game platforms, where they get a young person to do things or say things that are super embarrassing. And then they blackmail them with that behavior and say, if you don't do this or that, then I'm going to share it with all your friends or something like that. And they feel trapped. And we've seen, tragically, suicides of young people across the country where they're in this trap. They don't know how to get out. They may not have the relationship with their parent or an adult to say, I did something, I got myself into something, I need your help. And that's real key. So to parents, I would tell you, have conversations with your kids, build a relationship so that when they get into something, they know you're the first choice for assistance. Even if it's embarrassing or disturbing to them and you. We had a particular case that I can tell you, someone called me directly, a parent, and said their young teenage boy had gotten similarly catfished by who they thought was, a really pretty girl, got convinced to do certain things on camera, and then it flipped into blackmail and extortion. And thankfully, that young child had enough faith and confidence in relationship with the parent, that they talked to that parent. The parent looped us in. We assumed the identity of that young child and then caught the predator. But, the best way to prevent finding yourself in a bad situation is not to enter that situation in the first place. Right. So I would tell parents, don't let your kids get on this platform. They're doing, have restrictions on their phone. First and foremost, be a parent. Not just with this app, but with everything they're involved in. And if you see changes in their behavior, get involved. It could be drugs, it could be suicidal iterations, it could be bullying to them. You don't know what it is, but you got to get involved quickly.
So, Sheriff Bouchard, I'm looking right now at the website. It says their mission is revolutionizing connection, transforming how young people connect, share, and grow together. It's providing a space to build new friendships, boost self-esteem. So it seems like, the creators of the app, they have good intentions when it comes to this. But, I mean, do you necessarily think that
they're selling good intentions?
Well, they're
selling good intentions. But I don't know if they have good intentions.
But when we really think about what this app is and what you can do on this app, I mean, how do you think that someone can go through this process and create this app and be like, okay, there's absolutely no danger here?
Yeah, no, there clearly is dangers, and that's why I said it maybe not creating with good intentions, maybe it's selling with profit intentions, I think, is more of a driver here.
I think platforms develop selective blindness once the conversation turns serious. Companies speak in weird corporate daycare language, building positive experiences, encouraging connections. Meanwhile, people are reporting blatant predatory behavior constantly. There's always some watered down safety feature added afterwards, like putting a paper towel over a gunshot wound every single time. It's disgusting. Maybe an AI moderation pop-up, maybe a report button blurred in the menu somewhere, maybe a reminder to, stay safe online, as if a tiny digital smiley face will stop a grown adult from manipulating children. The guardrails are always so cosmetic. The responsibility gets shifted onto the users themselves, and thus it turns into this digital victim blaming over and over again. The real question never gets asked. Why are these systems built like unrestricted social speed dating for minors in the first place? Right? What's the point of this? Right? What was the point of doing that? Did the CEO want to do something? Check the CEO's hard drive, dude. What's happening? What's going on? This is insane. And you know what agitates me the most? And this is just a little aside here. People are saying, well, those teenager girls are fast, and when I was younger, those teenage girls were trying to get me as well. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? I remember when I was 21, and there was a 17-year-old in the bar for some reason, because the owner let the 17-year-old in and nobody knew her age, but she was talking about stuff I had no idea about. Even that 4-year little difference was such a difference in figuring things out. I had no clue what she was talking about. It's so crazy to me. It's so insane to me to say that these girls are fast when it's the people around them just manipulating them into these spaces. It's nuts. We gotta let 16-year-olds in the party because we need some girls here and they want to get some drinks because they're 16 and they can't legally drink. It's crazy. It's so I feel crazy talking about this overall. The emotional damage from these spaces gets ignored because people only focus on the most extreme headlines. Everyone waits for the giant criminal story while pretending the smaller damage somehow does not matter. My niece isn't gonna make headlines in any capacity because I stopped that. I nipped it in the bud. That's what's happening. Kids getting harassed daily matters. Kids getting manipulated into sending photos matter. Kids learning that attention equals validation matters. Kids being pressured into acting older than they are, that matters. An entire generation is growing up inside systems that constantly blur between intimacy and performance. The internet used to feel like entering a weird new world. Now it feels like children are being dropped into an endless nightclub with fake IDs while adults standing outside debating statistics instead of shutting the doors, right? And I'm so against not allowing teenagers on the internet overall. I think that's horrible to do. I think it's disgusting to do because there should be safe kid spaces online. But it's such a wild, wild west on the internet nowadays. It's disgusting. You could argue back in the day, I knew about Claw Washington, Mr. Hands, how he got a horse took his life. And I'm not going to explain how a horse took his life. Just look up Mr. Hands. It was disgusting to witness that. I could talk about Blue Waffle or the Pain Olympics or Lemon Party. Could do that. And there was gore and horror and stuff like that on the internet. It was that. But now that's just basically Twitter. I think you can just find all that stuff on Twitter. Predators go where access is easiest. Convenience, opportunity, visibility. Apps centered around teenagers become magnets because they create concentrated pools of vulnerable people all gathered together voluntarily. Predators adapt faster than platforms do. Predators only need one opening. Platforms move at the speed of PR statements and shareholder meetings. That's the speed at which they decide to go. The second one app gets criticized, another appears with slightly different branding and the exact same problems hiding underneath it. Society keeps treating these situations like isolated incidents instead of acknowledging the ecosystem itself is broken. We created digital environments where anonymity, attention addiction, loneliness, and youth all collide together at once. And then everyone acts confused when something monstrous crawls out of the mixture. The confusion is performative. What's crazy to me is that TikTok is also a bad app for this too. And I think people want TikTok because there's a lot of business on there and there's a bunch of other stuff on TikTok. But it's also a point where it's also bad, right? I think the loneliness part might be the saddest piece of this entire whole debacle to me. A lot of kids are not joining these apps because life is amazing. They're not looking for extra sparkle on top of an already glittering experience. They're just lonely, right? A lot of kids are just lonely, dude. A lot of kids are just really lonely. They want to feel seen, want connection, want somebody to talk to at night when life feels heavy and awkward and confusing and nobody's talking to them. And you know what's crazy? Predators know this. Predators like, this emotionally vulnerable kid, this is great. It's disgusting. They study insecurity like a profession. A kid saying, I feel alone is not a sentence to the wrong, is not just a sentence to the wrong person, right? It's blood in the water. These guys are sharks. That reality should horrify every adult alive. Children should not need to gamble with their safety just to feel acknowledged by another human being. The fact that they are willing to take that gamble tells you how desperate the loneliness becomes. The loneliness is this real epidemic to me. The apps are just this delivery system to the loneliness, and the internet keeps pretending every disaster is unavoidable. Most of this feels painfully predictable. You cannot market social apps towards minors, create endless stranger interaction, prioritize growth and engagement, weaken verification, reward addiction behavior, and then act stunned when predators flood to the space. That's the environment itself, right? It's so ordinary. Kids casually talking about being messaged by grown adults, parents not understanding the apps their children use, companies releasing polished safety statements while the digital ocean keeps filling with sharks. Everything becomes normal until suddenly somebody disappears. Somebody gets exposed. Somebody gets traumatized. Everybody asks, how could this happen? Who let this happen? What's going on? What's going on? How could we have seen this coming? I'm sorry. The warning signs were screaming the entire time. The screams were just getting ignored. The screams were inconvenient. The screams did not fit the quarterly report. And the cycle will continue. New app. New colors, new slogan, same outcome, every single time. It's disgusting. The adults who could build something safer will not because safety tools do not generate the same engagement metrics as chaos. The predators will keep adapting because adaptation is survival to him. The kids will keep joining because loneliness is louder than any warning label. The rest of us will keep scrolling, keep shaking our heads, keep saying, someone should do something. This is your chance to do something. I'm so serious. We can do something. I need you guys to really understand that this hit my house. This hit my home. Like, this is within my family now. This isn't some one-off thing on the internet where some random person just happened to them and now I can read the headline and say, oh, 10,000 died in a tsunami. That's a horrifying situation. No, this happened to me in my personal area with people that I know, close-knit within my circle, tight-knit. We all coalesce together. I go to bonfires with these people. This is my DNA. This is my blood. This is my Crip sometimes a little bit too. Sorry for making a joke. It's just within my nature to do so. But this is what's happening here. This is bad. And until it hits you, you're not going to care about it, right? You may want to have kids one day. I'm not quite sure where your life path goes. I don't know what you want in this life hold. But one day you're going to have kids and you're going to be too busy and too exhausted from a hard day at work because the economy is draining you down. And your kid's going to be on that iPad maybe one day. You're going to try to be the parents that's different, but you're going to eventually get to that point where they're going to hide things from you. Because you hid things from your parents. And maybe you had good parents, maybe you had bad parents. Who knows what you had, but you hid things from your parents when you were growing up. And this is going to be a regular, smegular, degular thing. It's normal for this stuff to happen. We have normalized this behavior. Things such as Roblox are more illusory with it right here, right? And you can't just take down all of Roblox, right? You can't add all these safety measures to Roblox. You can't add all these safety measures to TikTok. You can't do that. TikTok, you can make a video talking about this may be predatory. This specific app is my thing. I would like to center down for 1 second, redirect all the focus, funnel it through the barrel of a gun, and shoot, bow, right dead center, bullseye this one thing. You could report the app. You could do that. There's so many ways you could get this done, so many efficient methods you could do to get this out of the way. I need help. I need something to get this done because this is actually agitating me. I don't want to be intellectual or analytical. It makes my stomach turn when I think about these apps and the kids inside of them and the adults waiting for them in the shadows. This is not abstract. It has not been abstract for a long time. Every time I see another story, another warning, another parent crying into the camera because something happened to their child in a space that was supposed to be friendly, something physical, a tightening, a heat, a voice in my head that says, we knew this was happening, we still did not stop it. It's such a quiet and relentless voice, and we are not doing enough. We're not. I think that's the simplest truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Nobody wants to do it because saying it means admitting we have been complicit in our own passiveness. We share articles, we shake our heads, we post angry comments, then we close the laptop and go back to our lives. And that's what's probably going to happen after this video. Well, the same system churns forward without interruption. The outrage is performative to me. You know what I did as soon as I figured out about the stuff? Called my Congress and said, what's going on with the app? I called my local congressperson and they said, well, we didn't know this was going on. And I said, well, now you know. What are we going to do about it? I went to a city council meeting this morning. It's a coffee hour in Detroit. Talked to these people, told them about the Wizz app, and they said they didn't even know about it. I said, go make sure about that. I downloaded the Ring doorbell app to tell my neighbors about it. I'm doing everything I'm doing everything possible that I could possibly do because this is disgusting. This is the worst thing that's happened in so long to my family. It's nasty, right? It's disgusting. The outrage is a pressure release valve that lets us feel like we have done something when we have done nothing. This nothingness that I keep seeing from people. Same way I feel about the protests and all this stuff when you guys do nothing. Well, we gotta protest no kings because in Palestine and Congo all at once, and you need to center and do one thing at once. That's what I want from you. Do one thing at a time. Because if picture this, right? You have 1 million people and you separate those 1 million people into groups of 10,000. And now those 10,000 people, they seem manageable. I can manipulate 10,000 people. That's no issue for me. That's simple. That's sufficient. I can do that any day of the week. That's child's play. I can just do that every single day. But when it comes to the bigger number, I can't take out 1 million. We have strength in numbers. You gotta understand too, the gross part is not just the predators, right? It's the industry that pretends to care while building tools that makes predation easier, right? The gross part is the venture capitalists who fund these platforms knowing exactly what happens on them. What are the shareholders of these people, right? What about that? The executives who sleep peacefully in their expensive beds while children are being groomed using products their employees designed. They are not stupid. They are not naive. They have lawyers. They have data teams. They know what the metrics show about adults users contacting minors. They know this stuff. They have decided that growth was more important than safety. That was a choice. That was a deliberate, calculated, cold-blooded choice. And they made it in a room with good lighting and a nice view while someone's daughter was being messaged by a predator on the very platform they decided not to fix. And all I can think about is how lonely those children are. How sad it must be. A kid sitting alone in their room at midnight, phone glowing, no one to talk to, friends are asleep, family does not understand them, school is exhausting, and they open an app. Anyone could be on the other side of that screen. That is the gamble. They should not have to gamble. They should have safe places. They should have adults who already built guardrails so thick that no predator could squeeze through. Instead, they have a terms of service agreement written by lawyers who will never meet them, and a report button that takes 17 clicks to find, and a support team that responds 3 weeks later after all the damage is done. This makes me sick. Literally sick. This is disgusting. I hate this. And if you're wondering if anyone could have stopped it earlier, anytime you read one of those headlines, the answer is always yes. Someone could have stopped it. Someone could have demanded, I don't know, better verification. Someone could have limited adult interactions with minors, or even bigger than this whole thing. Someone could not have made a Tinder for children. Our solutions. Many solutions to this, right? Nobody wants to actively do anything. We need criminal penalties for executives who knowingly allow predatory behavior to flourish on their platforms. But because the lobbying is so good and they have so much money, all these lawyers' job is just to defend their client. I hate the idea of this lawyerdom, this stupid lawyer maxing BS nonsense where we have we had a beautiful idea that lawyers could defend anyone, or that we had the freedom to talk to people, a jury of your peers, all this stuff. But then we created an entire profession about arguing, and that created a gateway for manipulation. The tech industry has convinced us that these problems are unsolvable because solving them would, a cut in the profits. The truth is that they do not want to solve them. They want to manage them. They want to release safety features just enough to quiet the criticism without ever actually addressing the root of the problem. The root is engagement and money and metrics. That's all it is. The root is a business model that treats users as inventory and not as people. And children are becoming the inventory. Their loneliness becomes inventory. I am tired of reading statements. I am tired of, we take this seriously, followed by nothing. I am tired of watching the same cycle repeat with different app names and the same hollow promises. I want to see someone go to prison. I want to see an executive handcuffed on the news while their company stocks plummet. I want other executives to watch and think, maybe we should fix our platform before we end up in the same courtroom, guys. Maybe we should do this. I am not seeking vengeance. I want a deterrence. That is it. The only thing powerful people understand is consequences. I want to be reasonable about this so bad. I preach all the time about how we should see from the other side and the other side of the aisle and how maybe we could do that. But that's on the other side of the aisle. Other side straight across. That's on the left, right. We are down. They are up. I'm not looking up to argue with people who think they're gods and how many people view them as gods. You've gone beyond the guise of being human to me, because you have faced no consequences. None. They will keep doing what they're doing until the consequences become unavoidable. We should stop using these platforms. We warn other parents. We demand legislation that actually holds companies accountable instead of the weak lobbyist written bills that die in committee every single session. We vote for people who understand that child safety is not a partisan issue. We refuse to let tech companies hide behind we are just a platform while their algorithms actually facilitate them. The just a platform defense expired the moment they started recommending users, suggesting connections, and using AI to boost engagement. You cannot claim to be a neutral pipe while simultaneously engineering addiction. You are either responsible or you are not. There is no middle ground where you get the profits of engagement without the liability of the outcomes. I am sick of feeling helpless. I am sick of writing words that feel like they disappear into the void. I am sick of knowing that somewhere right now, at this exact moment as I make this video, a child is being manipulated by an adult in an app that should have never existed in its current form. That child does not know they are being manipulated. The child thinks they found a friend. The child is about to learn a lesson that no child should ever have to learn. And the person who built the app is probably sleeping peacefully, are posting on social media about their latest philanthropic initiative. Oh, this is going to be great. I donated to kids in need. I gave $1 million to kids in need. Huh? We had a record quarter this year. This is amazing. The dissonance between these two things is staggering. And the dissonance is evil. Evil does not always look like a monster. Sometimes the prettiest people you know are monsters and they look gorgeous. Sometimes evil looks like a CEO smiling at a conference while children are being harmed using his product. We have to do something. Not eventually, not after the next tragedy. Now, today, right now, call your representatives, talk to other parents, share information about which apps are dangerous, refuse to let your children download platforms that prioritize dangers like strangers over safety. Demand that schools teach digital literacy that includes recognizing grooming patterns. Create offline communities where kids do not feel so desperate for connection that they will accept it from anyone. Be the adult that a lonely kid can talk to before they open an app and find the wrong person. Be that person. And I will not pretend that any of this is easy. It is not easy. It is exhausting. It is frustrating. It is fighting against a machine that has more money, more lawyers, and more lobbyists than any grassroots movement could ever match. But did that stop the civil rights movement? Did that stop women getting the right to vote? Did that stop prohibitionist hell? Did that stop America from becoming America in 1776? Did that stop us? Hasn't stopped us before. Why would it stop us now? All of you need to come together. Because you know what the alternative is? Acceptance. Silence. The alternative is more children getting hurt while we scroll past and say, someone should do something. That someone is us. It has always been us. We just did not want the responsibility because the responsibility is heavy. The responsibility is also the only thing that will make this stop. Do not look away. Do not let the stories become background noise. Do not let your exhaustion convince you that nothing can change. Change is possible. Change requires discomfort. Change requires admitting that we have been part of the problem by letting these platforms operate without accountability. And that admission is hard. That admission is also the first step towards building something better. The better exists. It's just buried under years of neglect, greed, and willful ignorance. We can dig it out. We have to dig it out. The kids cannot dig it out themselves. They're the ones trapped inside the machine, and we built the machine. We can unbuild it, or at least we can force the people who own it to tear it down and start over. I am sick to my stomach. I will stay sick until something changes. The sickness is my reminder that I still care. The day I stop feeling sick is the day they win. When I was younger, at the gentle age of, what was I, like 11, I had a teacher, a woman teacher, and she did unmentionable things to me. I remember I brought this to all my friends and told them, and they said, oh, she's hot. She's beautiful. You had that happen to you? And I said, yeah, man, that was not good. She said I was a beautiful little boy. I think about that all the time. I think about how all the adults around me said, good job. All of them said, good job. So I had assumed that I had the wrong feeling inside of my body. I had assumed something was wrong. Later, when I was a little bit older, happened with a male teacher. Now, this was interesting because I didn't know that there was a difference between a woman and a male when it came to how things operated, when it came to that. I had no clue, no idea about any of that. So I simply just let it happen for a little bit because I saw the reaction before. I saw what happened before. I knew people would congratulate me, and the congratulations felt disgusting. I didn't want those congratulations, so I hid it away inside of my body. I didn't want anybody to know. Till one day it slipped up. Told my dad about it. He says, son, this is wrong. Went to the school, beat up the teacher, and then teacher was put in prison. It was a very interesting reaction. I thought maybe the culture shifted. I thought something changed. I thought maybe I misremembered. So I began to question my own reality. I began to question what was happening. I began to ask. I said, what was the difference between the woman doing it and the male doing it? What happened there? And people said, oh, well, that's a woman. Confused me a little bit. Really threw me for a loop. Didn't know what was going on there. At that point, I realized that there was a deep discrepancy that I didn't understand yet. I was too young to understand the sexism embedded deep within our society. Didn't know it was that. Didn't know what was going on. I was supposed to be prideful and happy that I conquered a woman. I was supposed to feel that inside of my bones, inside of my body. That's what I was supposed to do. But I didn't. Didn't feel that. What I felt, hurt, pain, shame. Therapy is what I felt. I felt my bills get crazy high because therapy costs a lot of money is what I felt. It was horrible. I didn't like a single bit of it. Wasn't fun. After that, happened a few more times. I give you the ages. Could say 11, 14, 16, 22. Could say that. Then 24. 24 years old. 24 years old. I had just lost somebody in my family. Horrible day for me. It was in August 10th specifically. August 10th, I remember. I was 24 years old. And I had my friend come over and she said, don't worry, I can make you feel better. I thought she had some magic cure. Maybe she could make me fly like Tinkerbell and take me in Neverland, somewhere better. I had no clue. I was looking for the grass being greener on the other side, but all that she had was provocative notions. And there's 3 things you can do. You can fight, you can flight, you can freeze. And I froze. And something I didn't want happened. It's horrifying. I hated that. She asked why I was so stiff, and I said I didn't want that to happen. And she said, oh, well, that already happened. Hope you feel better. Then she left. I didn't sleep for 2 days. 2 days I didn't sleep. I was scared that I was going to have a nightmare about what had happened to me. Horrified that was going to happen. Couldn't trust people. Couldn't trust most people around me. Made my paranoia worse. I was already schizophrenic. Made my paranoia much worse. Caused me not to trust a whole bunch of people. Made me repulsed by most things. I already didn't even like intercourse that much to begin with. All these things horrifyingly coalesced into what happened in my life and how my body reacted to things. And I see all these stories of these same things happening, and I understand what's happening to these people. Sometimes it happens to a little boy and he gets congratulated. Sometimes it happens to a little girl and everybody takes it seriously because girls need to be protected. But protect them from what? From something we created. We are making the monsters. We are creating and crafting the kaijus. We have made Godzilla and are upset he's destroying the city. Brother, you made Godzilla. You created the kaijus. You made Mothra and Destroya and King Ghidorah. You made these things. You're making monsters and then getting mad at the monsters. You started the war, and now you wish to feel bad about the destruction the war has caused. We are not doing enough. We're waiting for people who are stronger or are more prepared to do more, and then we are saying we can join in with those people. You need to do more. You're not doing enough. That's what I'm saying. All this performative activism and all this nonsense and all this fake gobbledygook that you're doing, feeling like you're actually making a difference when you're doing bumkus, because it's still happening. And you can't stop every bad person on earth. You can't stop every single one person. That's impossible. But something matters. A little bit matters. That's what I want. I want you to do something. I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. And I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick at night, be my Laurel, he's low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you